students, a very good morning to you. We are continuing chapter 4 of class 12, that is reproductive health. In my last class, I have told you about natural methods of contraception in which we know how naturally we can prevent pregnancy or fertilization of the ovum with the sperm. So today we will study about artificial methods of contraception. As you know that the natural method of contraceptive method is not safe. So this method is safe and should be used by a professional, medical professional, means who have proper knowledge about medicines. So let's understand what is artificial method of contraception. Contraception means avoiding pregnancy by using some methods. So they are of different types like barriers, then your oral contraceptives, IUDs, implants and injectables, then surgical methods. Again they are divided into different types. So let's understand what is barrier, what is oral contraceptive, what is IUDs and how they work. First we will study about barrier. Barrier means which prevents the entry of sperm inside the female body. That is called as barrier method, which is different in both male and female. So in females it is again of three types. One is diaphragms, vaults and cervical caps, which can be used by females to prevent fertilization or to prevent pregnancy. Again oral contraceptive pills. Oral contraceptive pills means they are taken in interval of, as you know that from menstrual cycle means from the after completion of the 5th day it is taken up to 21 days. Either the pill is regularly or like Saheli it is once a week pill. How does it effective or it works inside the body? Oral contraceptive pills are the combination of the hormone progesterone and estrogen. So when a female takes oral contraceptive pills, then it effectively acts, means it inhibits ovulation. As we know, if ovulation occurs at the mid cycle of the menstrual cycle, then it leads to fertilization and pregnancy. So it inhibits ovulation, means ovulation will not occur if a female takes oral contraceptives. Next, alters the quality of cervical mucus. The mucus that released from the cervix sometimes helps in the fertilization of sperm, but if a female takes contraceptive pills, then it alters the quality of the cervical mucus, due to which it prevents the retired entry of sperm. Sometimes the sperms that can't reach to the fallopian tube, they again move in the direction of fallopian tubes. So here the mucus prevents the retired entry of sperm, means doesn't allow the sperm to entry again. Clear? Next is IUDs, intrauterine contraceptive devices. We can say it as IUD or IUCD. It means intrauterine contraceptive devices or intrauterine devices. This is again of three types. One is non-medicated device, one is copper releasing and one is hormone releasing. So let's understand what is non-medicated IUD. Non-medicated IUD is, for example, you can take lips loop, which is implanted inside the uterus. Again, another example of IUD, that is copper releasing IUD. You know about copper T, copper 7 and multilode 375. They are implanted inside the uterus to stop fertilization as well as implantation. So how they work? When these copper releasing devices are input or implanted inside the uterus, then the releasing of copper ion suppress the sperm motility. Means as we know that if the sperm releases for ejaculation is 200 million or 300 million, then out of which 60% are normal in their shape and size and 40% are vigorously moved in the direction of the or towards the fallopian tube. So here what happens, the sperm, means the copper ion releases suppress the motility, means it decreases the motility of sperm, due to which it can't reach to the fallopian tube at that time. Again, it also decreases the fertilizing capacity of the sperm, means not only suppresses the sperm motility but also suppress or stops the fertilizing capacity of the sperm. So in this way, the copper releasing IUDs are work. So this question may come in 2 marks or 1 marks. Write the name of some copper releasing ions. So here you can write copper T, copper 7 and multi-load 375 are some examples of copper releasing IUDs. And how they work? They work by suppressing the motility, sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperm. Again, another IUD means intrauterine device is hormone releasing IUDs. They are the modern devices nowadays used by many females to prevent pregnancy and fertilization. That is hormone releasing IUDs. You can take the example of LNG20 and progesterone. So here how they work? They make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. Means the uterus, if fertilization occurs, then implantation will not occur. It means it makes the uterus unsuitable, means do not provide the condition for implantation of the zygote, as well as it makes the cervix hostile for the sperms, means the cervix kills the sperms when they enters into the female body. Clear? Next is your implants and injectables. Implants and injectables which are implanted just beneath the skin, and they also changes the hormonal balance. And injectables are taken in regular intervals of 3 months or 6 months. So they are other contraceptive methods can be used by females to stop pregnancy. Next one is your surgical method. Means all these methods we have studied here are reversible, means can be changed. Means if a person or a female takes this contraceptive or uses these contraceptive methods, then she can change it, or again if she wants, then can make itself pregnant. But here the surgical method is permanent method. Permanent method of contraception. Surgical method is called as or known as permanent method of contraception, in which it is again divided into 2 types. One is vasectomy and another is tubectomy. Vasectomy is done in males. This is the surgical method which is done in males, and tubectomy is done in females. So how this is done and what happens? In vasectomy, a small part of the vas deferens. Vas deferens is the passage through which sperm moves towards the ejaculatory duct. So when through a small incision or through a small cut, a small part of the vas deferens is cut and tied off, due to which the sperms can't release or can't move towards the ejaculatory duct, due to which if sperms will not release, then how fertilization occurs? So this is permanent method of contraception. Vasectomy is done in male. This is surgical method. Vasectomy in male and tubectomy in female. In tubectomy, like vasectomy, in tubectomy also a small part of the fallopian tube through small incision is cut and tied up, due to which ovulation can't occur. If ovulation can't occur, means ovum can't reach towards the fallopian tube. As we know that fertilization takes place inside the fallopian tube, and if the ovum can't reach the fallopian tube, then how fertilization will occur? So tubectomy and vasectomy are considered to be permanent methods and irreversible, whereas rest of the methods, contraceptive methods, are reversible. So before using these artificial contraceptive methods, we should have complete knowledge about these contraceptive methods and should be prescribed under a medical supervision. We can't ourselves take these contraceptive methods. This may cause many side effects like headache, fatigue and vomiting, all this. That's why we should use these contraceptive methods under the supervision of a proper medical officer or proper doctor. So students, this is all about your artificial methods of contraception. Next we will study about MTP. What is called MTP or why MTP? Let's understand what is MTP. MTP means medical termination of medical termination of pregnancy. What does it means? It means if a female doesn't want to abort the child, then in that case he can terminate the pregnancy, means finish the pregnancy or can abort. So in our country MTP is banned due to its misuse. It is banned due to its misuse. But still it is allowed for those couples who are not able to abort their child or who have MTP should be done in that case if the child that growing inside the mother's body is abnormal, like suffering from many diseases, your Down syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, hemophilia, etc., etc. In this case, MTP should be allowed. So MTP nowadays have a great misuse. If you will see, then more than 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in the world. 45 to 50 million MTPs done in the world per year. Clear, students? As it is banned in our country, if we consider the whole world, then 45 to 50 million MTPs occur in the world per year. Every year, abortions or medical termination of pregnancy is done in the world, that is approximately 45 to 50. And as I have told you, in those cases, MTPs are allowed when the female or when the couples not want any child, they have already 2 or 3 child and they can't afford, they can't provide them the facilities, or they suffer from, or the young ones which grows inside the mother's body suffer from any genetical disease. In this case, MTP is allowed. And that MTP should be done under supervision of medical professions. Means without knowing about any cause of the MTP, we should not ourselves make MTPs or do MTPs, as it is also deadly. If we unknowingly uses different drugs which turns medical means termination of pregnancy, that may cause or leads to death of the female. So this is all about your MTP. Next we will study about, our next topic is STD. Next topic is our STD. Means sexually transmitted disease. What are called as sexually transmitted disease? Sexually transmitted disease means those diseases which transmitted through the body fluid or through sexually, means due to unprotected sex with multiple partners, due to continuous abortions or continuous pregnancy, we may suffer from STDs or sexually transmitted disease. It have many other causes also, and the STDs is caused due to bacteria, virus, protozoa, etc. They may cause due to bacteria, virus, protozoa. In your NCERT book, here given only bacteria and virus. So let's understand which sexually transmitted diseases are caused due to bacteria and which are caused due to virus. Gonorrhea and syphilis. Gonorrhea and syphilis are caused due to bacteria. Hepatitis B and HIV/AIDS. HIV/AIDS is caused due to virus. If initially these STDs are not identified, then it may lead to cause death. So the symptoms of these STDs are of different types. In some cases, itching or pus from the genital organ or sex organ, or it may irritate. So in this case, we should have to consult with a doctor and we should treat this disease in initial time period. But we are ashamed of ourselves that how we should talk to the doctor about these matters. So we hide these problems, due to which we ourselves bias the death. So students, this disease should be, if whether it is bacterial or it is viral, if it is not treated in initial time, it may lead to cause death. But the viral disease, which is hepatitis B and HIV/AIDS, leads to death, means its final result, it causes death. So how can we prevent ourselves from these STDs and we can save our life? So we should have to notice some steps which help us from preventing these STDs, like which already I have discussed in earlier discussion of this topic, that there should not be multiple sex partner. Clear? We should not use, or we should not do abortions. Then some hygienic techniques should be used during our menstrual cycle. So this may cause or decrease the chances of occurring this disease. Clear? So these are the causes due to which we suffer from STD and that leads to cause death in us. Clear, students? So in the next class we will study about infertility.